Thank you very much for coming along to the hotel today for our press conference for the big bill on the 23rd of June at the O2 Arena. Billy Joe, Martin Murray, both here, and Jamie, who's training Martin, Jamie Moore. And we will be having a press conference at some stage next week to announce full details of the undercard. Darryl Williams against Lennox Clark is made. That's for the English super middleweight title. But the other fights on that bill, Anthony Yard, Daniel Dubois, Ahara Davis and others, will be giving full details about that at some stage next week. Now, Frank Warren, the promoter of this bill, and great to see Billy Joe back in action, of course, after the sensational performance against David Lemieux in Canada before Christmas, and Martin Murray, who we know is one of the toughest and most respected figures in British boxing. Great to see them together, Frank.
It certainly is. Obviously, over the last month or so, since all the business went on between Golovkin and Canelo, there's all these rumours flying around whether Bill was going to be fighting Martin or whether he was going to be fighting Golovkin. But this is where we're at. This is what we're focusing on. I know Bill's not taking his eye off the ball, and you only got to look at both of them, Martin as well. They've been training very hard. This is a good fight, and this is a tough fight for Bill. A very tough fight. You know, I use the expression a lot. You know, Martin's not coming here to make up the numbers. Martin's coming to seize an opportunity. This is such a lively division now, this middleweight division. There's big riches there for whoever comes through this fight. They're going to have the WBO title, and they're going to be a very important part of a jigsaw involving unification fights. So Bill can't afford to slip up, and with the greatest respect to Martin, I'm sure he may feel this way himself. This is he's probably his best last opportunity to grab a title, having been cruelly, I suppose, in some ways cheated out of it, or not say cheated, been on some end of some very close decisions, and some people felt that he should have been a world champion. But this is his last chance, in my opinion, to do it. So I'm sure, as we all know, he's going to take that opportunity because he's a fighter by trade, and he's a fighter. Is in his DNA. That's how he is. He comes to fight. But for Bill, I think Bill pulled off the best performance of a British boxer away from home since Tyson Fury beat Klitschko, when he beat David Lemieux. I thought it was a fabulous performance, and it showed what he's all about when he's 100%, when he's focused, when he's mentally right, when he's physically right. It shows you what a fighter he is, and unfortunately for him, I think that scared off Golovkin, because they did approach us, but it was like very, very airy-fairy. And I don't think either Canelo or Golovkin want to fight Billy Joe Saunders. But at the end of the day, he's got to win this fight. He comes through and force fights, and that can happen. There are a lot of fights out there for these guys. You've got George Groves, maybe there's a catchweight fights against the likes of George Groves, the winner of him and Callum Smith. You've got Daniel James DeGale, he's there. So this is a real good time for the middleweight, super middleweight division, and I like to feel I'm sitting next to the guy to my right who can win both these titles and emulate what Joe Calzaghe did.
What's your understanding of Golovkin and Canelo at this moment? Are they going to
fight in
do
September?
It,
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, for me, if you are found guilty, then you should be banned. To be banned for 6 months, I think I don't even get that. I don't understand that at all. It
doesn't send out a great message, does it?
Well, it doesn't, because most fighters, guys who operate at that level fight twice a year. So you take the PEDs, you win the fight, you get banned. You're banned as from the time you're found to have taken it. 6 months later, you're fighting again. It's pointless. The whole thing is just a pointless exercise. If you want to stop drug taking in boxing, there's only one way to stop it. You've got to be severe with what you're doing, with the sentences.
Let's start with Martin. The fight was originally going to be April 14th, and now we're back, and it's happening on June 23rd. What sort of problems has it been to get up to a situation where you're pretty much ready to fight, and then it's taken away from you, and you've got to go through it all again and just sort of bubble along and get yourself beat up?
Yeah, obviously I was gutted. Mentally and physically, I've never been better than I was 4 weeks out from a fight, coming back from Tenerife. You know, the camp I've had with Jamie and Nigel, the boys, it's been absolutely amazing. So when I got back and found out it had been cancelled, I was gutted. So yeah, just that completely take my foot off the gas. I've been in this game a long time now. I know my body better than anybody. I just know about timing right, and I knew that I just needed to, like I said, take my foot off the gas and get myself ready for the new date, which was June 23rd. I was umming and ahhing about that, whether the fight was going to happen, if I'm honest. But now we're here, so yeah, I've got 9 weeks now. You know, I need a good 7 weeks, but I've got 9 weeks now to get myself ready and become world champion on June 23rd. You know, I, with all due respect, Frank, you know, you're going on. I mean, I know you've not been my promoter for a long time. You've been Billy's throughout his career, but I'm your fighter now. You know, and yeah, you're just going on about how Billy's doing this, Billy's doing that, Billy fighting Canelo or George Groves or Golovkin. Do you know what I mean? I'm fed up of hearing it. I'm June 23rd. This is my time, and I will become world champion. 1,000,000%. I'm confident everything happens for a reason. It's got me in this position here now to finally become world champion.
Are you genuinely angry, Martin, that the talk goes on?
Listen, I know the sport of boxing. You know, I know the way it is. You know, I understand the game. You know, the politics of the game. But yeah, I am. You know what I mean? You do get overlooked a bit, and I understand that. But I've been all right about it up until like coming here and just again, no disrespect, Frank, but just hearing you just go on about it all the time. You just do me head in a bit, to be honest with you.
Frank, let's just focus on the. You have to be quiet, Frank. Stop mentioning it now.
Let's just focus on this fight first.
Well, I don't want to be disrespectful to you, but you know the fact is, those two guys are the big names, and that's where the money is, and that's what we're the direction. You know, Bill's been with me from day one, and he turned pro with me. We've been through thick and thin, and but you know, at the end of the day, you want to win it. You've got the opportunity. Yeah. You're in the ring. You two guys are in the ring. The best man's going to win on the night. That's what this is all about. I don't overlook you. I think you, as I said just now, I think you're a quality operator, a quality bloke, and a quality fighter. But you know, it is what it is. You're going to do it. You do it on the 23rd, and you'll do it on merit. There's no doubt about that. But you know, Bill's. I can't help my allegiances to Bill. I mean, that's
I understand that, but it's just obviously it's a little bit frustrating. It is. Man in his press conference, and I just wanted just let you know. I do rate Billy as a fighter, I do. I just think he's a quality fighter. You know, I've got respect for him. You know, just the other day, me little lad set up his Instagram account, just chatting here, but Billy followed him. You know, I thought it was a nice thing to do. Followed me little lad. I have got respect for Billy. He's a good lad, but you know, he stands in the way of me finally becoming world champion and getting them big money fights, and I want them fights as well. I want the fights as well. And
if you win, you'll get them. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's a bit like, you know, you're two. I know you're friends. I know you. That happens in boxing, and you're two decent guys, and I know that on the night all that will be put aside, and we're going to get I know we're going to get a war. There's no doubt about that. It's a bit like the weekend. You know, we had Cole Frampton in with Danair. You know, if in fact they weren't having a fight, I think they'd have moved in together. They were just such, you know, nice guys to each other. It was a joy to see. But come fight night is what it is. And that's where your opportunity is. It's what boxing's all about. Your opportunity on the night is to go and grab that title. Bill's opportunity is to defend his title, come away with it, and better your lives. That's what it's about. You know, my job is to deliver those opportunities, and I've delivered them. And at the end of the day, you're both passionate about in your belief about yourself. You're passionate about what you can do. The best man will win. The best man will win on the night.
Listen, first of all, I just want to say, you know, people bang on about my last performance and, you know, this fight, Canelo, Golovkin. There's only one person that can lose this fight, and that's me, if I overlook Martin. Martin's a good fighter, but the way I look at things, and same as what I said about, you know, David Lemieux, Eubank, all of them who I've beat before. If I can't beat these fighters, then I'm not the man who I think I am. I shouldn't be in there with Golovkin or Canelo. You know, so obviously I'm looking at different routes, but the main thing is that I don't overlook Martin, because, like I say, a desperate man's a dangerous man. I've been in desperate situations, you know, myself before. And, you know, probably not as desperate as what Martin is at the minute. So he's a very, very dangerous man. Like I say, I respect him as a fighter, but I believe that, you know, I'm a level above. And, you know, the only way to show that, well, to prove that, shall I say, is show it. Like I say, I've got respect for Martin. He's a good family man. I'll give him my word. I'll give him this opportunity, to be honest with you. I told him, and I will definitely fulfil that out. And hopefully, you know, once I take care of business on the 23rd, then we'll see who's up for it. We'll see what super middleweights and middleweights win it then. But at the minute, I'm solely concentrated on Martin Murray.
At this stage, how much would actually winning the title mean to you, Martin? Getting the belt, is that more important than money?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know, there's I'm from a town called St Helens. It's a well-known boxing town. There's never been a world champion from St Helens. So you know, I want to create a bit of legacy for myself as being the first world champion from St Helens. But it's, you know, obviously there's that part of it. But obviously, cause it's the money part. I'm in this sport solely for my family, solely to provide a living for myself, my wife and my kids, and that is it. And so obviously, of course, it's about the money. I know that by winning this fight, it goes on to big money fights which I've never really had. I've never really been in big money fights. I've had a couple of decent money fights, but nothing big. And I think and I said this in the last press conference, where I've suffered is I've never had a promoter from scratch, from day one, that I've gone all the way through with, that's built me and built me up into these big money fights. I've gone here, there and everywhere to what suited me, but don't forget, when I started, I'd just got out of jail. You know, I'd managed to get me amateur career back on track, and then I started on the small hall shows. You know, I started at Robin Park in Wigan, a little small venue. I started there, no TV shows on shite money. That's where I started. And I've got myself here now through my own work ethic, the way I work, the way I think. And, you know, I'm like I said, even though I've not had big money fights, there is now a possibility and a chance for me to get them big money fights, which I crave, to look after myself and my family. And the only person who's stopping them from me is Billy Joe, who I rate very highly. And I've done a lot of interviews with everybody here before this press conference. I cannot tell you how much I rate this man. You know, I've said about how tough the fight's going to be on June 23rd. It is going to be extremely tough. What Billy brings is something that I've never dealt with. Similar when I fought Martinez, fair enough, a slick southpaw, but I think Billy brings something that little bit more special, his own take in it. So I know him for a big fight, and like I said, I've got a lot of respect for him, but the respect was out the window on June 23rd, and Billy is standing in my way of becoming world champion and the big money fights. I'm not going to let that slip for nothing.
Jamie, you're here as well, training Martin Murray. You got a strategy for this one?
Well, I hope so. That's my job. But yeah, I mean, as Martin just said there, Billy Joe's a phenomenal fighter. I think he's right in what he says about the Sergio Martinez comparison, where he's got a few more strings to his bow. I think he's more awkward, he's more elusive. So he knows he's going to have to be at his absolute best. But there's a lot of different aspects to boxing other than just skill set. You know, if it purely went on just skill set, then I feel Billy Joe would win, because you know he's got a lot more skill. He's slicker. He's a southpaw, but Martin's got a lot of attributes which also stack up in his favour as well, and experience is one of them.
And size.
He's a massive middleweight, but he knows how to get his body down to the weight and stay strong. And again, that's experience in another part of boxing other than, you know, in the ring. So there's lots of different aspects. People are talking to me before the press conference here saying, you know, do you think Billy Joe's going to overlook Martin? Absolutely not. I think boxing fans or people in the boxing world, feel that this is quite an easy fight for Billy Joe, but I think people who are close by him understand. I think Dominic Ingle, who I rate really highly, I've got a lot of respect for him, they understand it's a tough fight, and I don't for one minute believe they've took this fight thinking it's just a tick over time. I think they've planned it thinking we're going to get Golovkin and we need 12 tough rounds to prepare us properly for Golovkin if we're going to be able to go in there and win the fight. So looking at it from their point of view, I understand the way they've gone about it, but I've got so much confidence in my guy. Honestly, he's in a good place mentally, physically, and he's got a lot of experience in his pocket.
Billy, does his size? Is that going to be a factor? Because I can't think off the top of my head of somebody who physically, as a middleweight, has been bigger than this guy that you've had in your career.
No, I boxed Andy Lee, 6'2", southpaw. But I think that sometimes you get these fighters who come, they make the weight wrong, get down. I think that can play a big factor in any fight. Martin ain't made the 11 stone 6 for a bit now. I can imagine he struggles at it, same as anybody. I struggle at 11.6. If you don't struggle at your weight, you're in the wrong category. But I think Martin brings that block with him as well. Common sense, they're going to go with the bullying tactic. I've boxed them all my life. Martin's got a little bit of range on there, probably a little bit more reach than me. So, I'm sure, like I say, look, I'm not going to sit here and try to say what game plan they're coming out with, but size don't matter. When you've got skill and you've got the will to win, the main thing is that will to win is that's all you need. And I don't know what it's like to get beaten. I don't want to know. Some people, when they've reached their limits, when they've been beaten, they know their limits deep down. They know, I can't dig no more. I've been outgunned here. I don't know that yet. So, if I do get dragged in the trenches with him, then we'll see. We'll see if I got that. We'll see how deep I can dig. But in my own heart, in my own head, I know I can dig as deep as I need to go. But like I say, I got to take my hat off to Martin. But like I say, I'll repeat what he said. Respect will go out that window on the 23rd of June because what's at stake? I've got kids, I've got a family, I want to move on to bigger and better, the same as he do. And most of all, I'm chasing the big fights. Literally now I'm chasing them. They're not coming to me now, so I have to chase them. I put myself in position for big fights to come. And the reason why I took Martin Murray is because not to stay active and have a warm up and tick over, is because I need someone to get up to train for. There's plenty of people that I could have rung Frank Warren and said, we'll have him, Frank, we'll take him. But I know deep down I would never cut corners, but I probably wouldn't value that person in the ring next to me. And Martin, I look at him and I see, he went tough, 11 rounds of Golovkin, fought his heart out. And, I've got to give him respect for that. And I would like, to be honest with you, I would like to get in there to test myself. Am I as good as Golovkin with Martin Murray? Would I do a better job? Could I not do a better job? So it's a good tester to see where I'm at with the top guns as well, because, I look at Martin as a good competitor and, a world title challenger, not, turning up for a payday. That's for sure.
Can I ask you both, perhaps Martin first, so we heard what Frank thought about this ban as such, which really turned out to be not much of a ban, which was given to Saul Alvarez. What are your thoughts on the fact that he's been done twice now for performance-enhancing drugs, which can be used as a masking agent, I understand, and yet he's back in the ring so quickly? What do you think of that?
Like everybody else thinks, it's a load of bollocks, isn't it? The fact that he's got a 6-month ban, and again I've said it in interviews before here about anybody else not as high profile as him would have got a 2-year ban. They would have done. The fact that he's such an high profile fighter and can generate so much money, he gets a slap on the wrist with a 6-month ban. It's not right, and it's a load of bollocks. That's my take on it.
Billy? saw your tweet which you put out as soon as he got done, and I mean, I think most people agreed.
I mean, the way I look at it is that you get these young fighters coming up now, all these young fighters who ain't growed up really. They're looking at Canelo, looking where he's got and looking what he's become. Are they going to think that, we can do that, we'll get away with a 6 months ban, if that's going to help us get there, we'll do that? That's just, personally myself, I reckon they should make it all legal. Let everybody take it. Everybody take drugs. Everybody, you know, then it's a fair playing field. Because
Or ban them for life if you get caught with it.
That's what I'd say. So because it's no good hitting him with a £100 fine, £200 fine, £1 million fine. It's got to be the consequences, because, you know, who's ever in that ring, they've got families to go back to. And we've had a lot of accidents in boxing, especially in Britain. And, you know, when you see people like that enhancing their body to do more damage on someone, I think that's it's cheating, and it should be a ban for life, most definitely.
Would you be prepared to, bearing in mind what you've just said there, if he beats Golovkin in September, and he's the man then who's out there, and you were going to get in there, you know, I mean, you've got a young son, would you get in there and take that fight against Canelo?
Look, like I say, I've got a fight on the 23rd of June first, but, you know, boxing is a business. Boxing is a business, and, you know, I personally now, I rated Canelo very highly, but now he's gone down in my estimation so much. I mean, I don't rate him as a fighter at all, and even if he beat Golovkin, I wouldn't class him as beating him, because I still look at, you know, he's a cheat. So, you know, if Frank rang the phone and said there was a few million involved, then, you know, I think I'd like to go in there and have a dust up with him. But I don't agree what he's done, and I'm sure any man in this room would. Look, you know, we're in a business. I'm sure any man in this room would, but I just don't agree what he's done, and I think it's a disgrace for boxing, you know, that to happen on a 6-month ban.
And you'd go along with that pretty much?
Yeah, like you said, for that type of money, you know, I think my mum would fight him and win, knowing my mum. But yeah, obviously, money talks, and we're doing it for our families. And I know, obviously, you're taking a risk.
I think the other side of it as well is that, you know, he's licensed. You're not asking, no one's asking to fight an unlicensed. If he's a licensed fighter and he has a belt and he's beaten Golovkin or whatever he's done, he's licensed. So you deal with him. And we're not here to police the sport. That's what the governing bodies are there to do. It's their responsibility. It's not our responsibility. That's their responsibility. And they've failed in their responsibility.
But going back to what Bill says, it is no deterrent for these young fighters coming up. You know, if you get a slap on the wrist, if you get a 6-month ban, it's completely wrong, and it's kind of teaching other people that they can do it and get away with small fines. It's wrong.
Right, well, that's what we've had from up here. Open it up to you now. Any questions from the floor for the guys, or for Frank, or for Jamie?
Yeah, back in full train. I've been in full training now for the last 3 weeks. You know, I've been having physio on it. It's lovely. Like I say, if I was looking at Murray as, you know, oh, I could get away with it, I'd probably got an injection and went in there, you know, cortisone or so. But I can't afford at this stage of my career to slip up. I've got to get in that ring at 110% every single time, because, you know, I've got in the ring from my own fault previously, 70s, 80%, so that, you know, I have to be 100%. But yes, I'm back using it, back punching, and we're all on course.
Yeah. Any more? John?
Follow on what you were both saying about Canelo. What do you think Golovkin should do? Do you think he should fight the winner of your fight?
You know, I think, to be honest with you, I think that fight was already made behind closed doors for September anyway. So I don't think that they're going to be looking for anybody else, or, you know, the winner of this fight. I think that solely they're concentrating on the September date, and I think that he will go ahead of it because of the money. And I don't know, maybe after that fight, after September, he might look around, or, you know, maybe vacate a couple of the belts and move up to super middle, or whoever wins it all depends.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, yeah. I mean, it was, you know, by far the toughest, most physical fight in my career. But, you know, when I've watched that fight back, obviously he caught me with that body shot in the fourth round. Obviously, Steve, me and you spoke about this. It doesn't bring back good memories to me, by the way. But he hit me with that body shot in the fourth round, and, you know, that changed the whole dynamics of the fight. You know, we caught me with that one shot. Who knows what would have happened at that shot had he not caught me with that shot? You don't know. Obviously, we never will. So there's no point going on about it. But what I'm trying to say is, it changed the whole dynamics of the fight. and I would definitely fancy me chances again, especially with the training how I am now, how I'm feeling, being more experienced, being more mentally happy and physically. Yeah, with Jamie and the lads at the gym, definitely fancy me chance again.
What type of a fight can we expect from Martin?
Like I said it earlier on, I think that, you know, Martin has to push the pace. He has to come. I mean, personally myself, without blowing smoke, I think that anybody, if I'm standing, we're boxing, you know, punch for punches, standing off thinking, I think that it would take a very, very clever fighter to outthink me. So I think that Martin has to use his size. I think he has to go for the bully tactics. But you know, I think he just has to be a bit more cuter than David Lemieux. But like I say, I'm expecting one thing, what he do bring, and he said it himself, is a tough fight, and that's to anybody. And it's been proven in the past. But like I say, I'm 100% on the job, and nothing but 100%. You know, for me, it's not good enough. It's got to be that 100%.
Yep.
All the talking seems to be only about Canelo and Golovkin, but in the rest of the division, what do you rank beyond Murata, especially after you beat the former opponent of yours, Blandamura, in the same round you stopped him for the European title? Is it on your radar?
Like I say, you know, people chuck names about, people's throwing Golovkin, like when Frank rang me and there was talks of that. In my own head, I still have Martin Murray in my head. You know, his opponent that, you know, we were talked about before, Murata, me and Frank, we sat down. I think Frank's got a good relationship with his promoter. The name was mentioned before. Blandamura, you know, he stopped him in the same round as me, but I boxed Blandamura when I was, you know, when I didn't do things right, and I still stopped him in 8 rounds. I think that Murata's a good fighter, but very predictable, very readable, and I think that, to be honest with you, I'll have a lot of fun in the ring with him, because I think it'll be the same sort of fight as my last, me and him. He's strong, he's got a good amateur background, he's got a good following. I think there was reports saying 17 million tuned in to watch him, which is obviously a lot of numbers, if that's right, what I read somewhere. You know, so most definitely, I wouldn't say no to it.
Yep.
You've been in world title fight before. What type of approach are you going to bring to this world title fight against?
To be honest with you, I've always had the same approach. Just give it me all. It's all I've ever done. But experience-wise, I'm obviously more experienced than I've ever been. I know my own body better than I've ever known it. The Groves fight was a big learning curve for me, because I went in that fight completely shocked, completely overdone it. And I learned then that I need listen to my body, not just train for the sake of it. But I've got a great coach at the side of me here. You know, I've got a lot of let people know that I do go and see Oliver once a week. You know, I think Oliver's tactics when I fought Martinez were bang on. I go and work on the tactics with Oliver once a week and do train with him. But I'm in the gym with Jamie here at the side of me. The gym's absolutely buzzing. Obviously, the lads at the weekend, Carl boxed another level. You know, absolutely unbelievable performance by him. Same with Tommy Coyle, Stevie Ward got a good win. The gym's buzzing. We are buzzing. You know, we've got this fight to look forward to. Rocky Feeling's looking at a big fight. You know, an happy fight is a good fight, and that's where I am now. You know, I'm listening to my body. I'm listening to the man beside me, and I'm enjoying training again, which for a few years I wasn't. And like I said, an happy fight is a dangerous fight, and that's where I am now.
Any more? Yep.
Bill, after months of tormenting him, how does it feel that David Lemieux has now blocked you on Twitter?
I think that, to be honest with you, I'm on Twitter now, and I'll get a bit bored. He blocked me on Twitter, I'll give him that much stick. Look, he keeps, listen, when I'm bored, I'll just lay it out right, and he writes back. So the more he bites, the more... Listen, that's the reason why I don't wind Martin up, because he's been round the block. You know, he's seen it all before. I'll be wasting my breath. I'm very good at judge of character, and I knew that David would bite. And, you know, in the press conferences, everything else, I knew what to say to trigger something off in his mind, and it did. But he's blocked me now, so there's no more David Lemieux. What? Amir Khan, he blocked me on Twitter as well. I personally think that, like I say, I only said that Cal Brooker beat him, and to me, it just shows what a little coward he is, or a little frag what he is to block me on Twitter over that. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. I blocked him. That's all I said. I'll give my opinion on the fight. I'm sure you've got your opinion here. Some might think Martin beat me. I'm not going to block you on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's just stupid to do, very childish. And Cal Brook will knock him out cold, I reckon, just for the record. And fuck his Twitter as well, because I don't want to phone him. Do you know what? I didn't really take much notice of it. I know Cal said he went down. Personally, myself, I don't think that I don't think he's involved he's interested in that fight. So that's all.
Anyway, let's talk about the fight that has been made, and that's this one. It's a great fight, and I honestly do think we could get a really enthralling and a tough fight here on the night. It's going to be good, and the undercard's going to be excellent.
Any more? Any more for any more? No. Right. Photographs next, and then any more head-to-head interviews which haven't already been done. The guys are here. Happy.